Hello indie game fans, Thinky Games can be the conduit for plenty of secrets to uncover, where they've evolved beyond just the regular level-based structure into open world entries and so much more. And for variety, I've added in some detective titles that require you to puzzle out the solution as well. So let's begin with Leximan, an adventure RPG that requires you to combine word fragments together to make new words using the time-honoured art of Leximancy. You play as a self-styled basement wizard banished underneath the academy due to your actions which caused an event a long time ago, so you have been cast down here with the other failures and rejects. However, the school comes under attack and the unlikeliest of heroes rises to the challenge, forming words into powerful spells as you dispatch off your enemies, where the lexicon is even used in exploration and looks like a fantastic time. A nice looking Sokobond style block pushing puzzle game is Temple of Revi, in which you are essentially pushing coloured blocks onto the matching spots on the grid, but with, of course, various traps and hazards in the way. The pixel art is wonderful and sees you fighting back against the purple corruption by successfully completing these puzzles, with the relatively small grids being quite the interesting constraints for puzzle designs. There are a number of puzzle adventure games here as well, titles in which you're exploring the world from a top-down or isometric camera angle, Zelda style, but is without a doubt a puzzle game through and through, with Time Flipper being one such title of interest. You're able to jump between timelines with the push of a button, which explains what is going on screen, having to find missing people and to convince them to follow you, and while there are enemies that you need to avoid, you have no weapons so there is no combat and looks like it might be interesting. Just a quick one here, since Mind Over Magnet does not have an official trailer just yet, but is of note since it is being made by YouTuber Game Maker's Toolkit, who decided to make a game instead of just talking about them all the time, so it will be an interesting experiment to say the least, since puzzle platformers are not the most popular genre, so I do wonder how this will do commercially.
The truth. The truth is an ugly mistress. But I ain't no ugly duckling.
Our first detective adventure game of note is Duck Detective The Secret Salami, one with a wonderful Paper Mario-like art style, in which our hero has to use the powers of deduction to solve the case. This will be similar to Return of the Obra Dinn, since you're investigating and questioning suspects to get words, and then using these to fill in the blanks based on your deduction skills, with the central mystery centered around the titular sausage and looks like a light-hearted, awesome one of these.
Welcome! May I introduce you to Henry. Henry's not just anyone. If they're anything, they're, well, everything. Henry can transform into everything in their reach. Yes, everything.
I've had my eye on this title for quite a while, since Henry Halfhead is another puzzle adventure game, but in which our protagonist can possess any object in the game, using their special abilities to solve puzzles and to progress the story. While it has similar vibes to games made by Hollow Ponds and Richard Hogg like I Am Dead or Wilmot's Warehouse, this is instead from a team out of Switzerland, so do not be confused with the Mario Odyssey-like possession mechanic, possibly resulting in some interesting puzzles.
To know Henry's life story, from their carefree days as a baby, to their first responsibilities as a working adult, until their calmer and more laid-back senior years. Double the Henry, double the fun. Play Henry's not-so-ordinary everyday life in co-op mode.
An interesting puzzle adventure game that does remind me of Kato from 2020 is Paper Trail, since both games include the manipulation of the map or terrain in some form. This title, however, is set in the foldable paper world, in which you can grab and fold the level in order to solve the puzzles and to progress forward, looking like quite the cleverly designed title and looks beautiful as well. One of the biggest surprises from the Game Awards was the announcement of World of Goo 2, the sequel to a game from 2008. So almost 16 years later, they are back with the sequel. This was one of the OG indie games which I remember playing to completion, finding it good but not as mind-blowing as some people seem to think it was, so I'll be curious to see what has changed in the time since then, since at a glance, it does look fairly similar. Hardcore puzzle game fans will be familiar with Sokobond from 2014, and in another strange move, 10 years later, the developers are back with Sokobond Express. The original had you creating chemical molecules by moving the elements around to form bonds, with the sequel having a similar kind of concept, but instead of directly controlling the element, you're instead creating a track for it to move on, looking equally mind-bending and should be great.
Hello, tester.
The immediate reaction that I had to this game is that it has a GLaDOS-like AI as the foil in this Sokobond-style puzzle game, so of course I'm in, adding personality and flair to Lab Rat.
My algorithms suggest you might enjoy wanton, fun-solving puzzles. Do you feel more engaged knowing that you are being evaluated by your community? Good. I will now gauge your interest in multiplayer.
You are the test subject in a series of puzzles which you need to solve, where the metrics-obsessed AI will continually throw new obstacles your way, and might even get a warped sense of humanity based on how you solve the puzzles and the survey response data that you need to fill up. This developer previously made the 3D puzzle title Kain, which was neat, so I'm interested to see what's next from them.
3000% normal. Completely normal.
Not too much has been shown of Summerhill so far, but it sure is pretty, and self-describes as a story-driven puzzle game in which a shepherd and his dog cross an ancient pastoral landscape to reunite your scattered flock of sheep and also uncover mysteries of the past. It has a That Game Company kind of feel to it, in being similar to games like Journey or Flower, but is from the team that made the Alto's Adventure series of games on mobile, so the pedigree is great, which makes this of interest. A title with a little bit more of a creepy or horror vibe is Urban Myth Dissolution Center, in which you're solving cases involving cursed relics and dimensional anomalies. It does have some fantastic pixel art, which was what drew me to the game, and has a vibe similar to World of Horror, but it's an episodic detective mystery title where you need to uncover the truth behind various urban legends and to deal with the consequences. One of the best recent detective adventure games is The Case of the Golden Idol from 2022, where the frankly ugly visuals hit a fantastic detective game that is also similar to Return of the Obra Dinn. So of course, its sequel, The Rise of the Golden Idol, is a title of note. This is set in the 1970s as compared to the 18th century of the original game, and has 15 instead of 12 cases, being a bigger and hopefully better version of the concept while still retaining the investigation part. And while this is only a cinematic trailer, the screenshots look decent, so puzzle game fans, do not miss this one. This next title is one of the most ambitious puzzle games, since yes, while Islands of Insight might look like Unreal Engine assets cobbled together, this is a shared world title, so there seems to be MMO elements, although puzzles are all individually solved, and has, get this, 10,000 plus puzzles across 24 puzzle types, in which you can find YouTube videos, checking out the beta to get an idea of what to expect, really having a whole bunch of variety and will make you think. The cool part is that it is being released in 2 weeks from this video, with the demo being available during next week's Steam Next Festival, so do check it out.
The answer is always in sight.
This game, you guys, I'm pretty sure that Owls of Sea and Sky is going to become something special, since it's an open world Sokobond style block pushing puzzle game in which you're making your way through the various owls, which of course have their own environmental themes, puzzles and hazards, and might I hazard a guess that all of these various puzzle mechanics will be in the final area. This is one of the rare instances in which the animated portions of the trailer works really well in conjunction with the actual 8-bit pixel art look of the game, in which there just appears to be so much to do in this game, even being able to ride on a giant turtle to get to the other islands. Here's hoping that the open world structure is not just for level segmentation, but there's a larger puzzle to solve, and we should know soon since it's slated for Q1 2024. For more puzzle games, watch this video on the hidden gems of 2023 that has at least one very notable must-play puzzle game.